Welcome to Caseback Watches. My name is Tim, and in this episode I have the joy to present you a very special timepiece. And it's the Grail watch for many people out there. Is it my Grail watch? I think I'll find out in this video. And I'm talking about the Lange 1. You've read the title and you know this, but here it is, the Lange 1. And this is not the basic model of the Lange 1, if there is a basic model. This is the platinum case and the Moonphase. So very, very advanced and gorgeous looking watch. I'm very happy about the opportunity to wear that piece now. Why do I have it with me? I will explain this during the video. And the idea for today is presenting you that watch in the light box so we can examine every detail and every screw, every aspect of the piece. I'm really looking forward to this. But first, before we do this, let me give you a little bit of context. Let me give you a little bit of information about Lange Söhne, the company. And Lange Söhne was founded in 1845 in Glashütte, which is a small town in Saxony, which is a small country in eastern Germany. Okay, and back then they were manufacturers of pocket watches, like every manufacturer back then, with strong competition from Switzerland, of course. And their reputation was rather conservative, with good quality products, but not with much of innovation in it. And for example, they weren't involved in the evolution of the wristwatch. They produced back then. They produced wristwatches, but they had to buy the movements in Switzerland. Okay, so conservative, not so innovative, but with a really good name until World War II. And World War II, of course, was the big change then, because Eastern Germany occupied under the rule of the Soviet Union, and the Soviet Union expropriated every watchmaker, every company in Eastern Germany. I think in Glashütte we are talking about 7 companies which were expropriated, this is a word, man, expropriated, so were transferred into public capital, so to speak, no private owner anymore. And by the way, the name of this new company was then GUB, is an abbreviation, and you can translate it into manufacturer for the people or under the people. So no more private owner. The family Lange fled into Western Germany. And the history Lange could have stopped here, but the family Lange was sort of robust and they wanted to keep their business with watches, their knowledge. And so they founded in the 50s the A. Lange Pforzheim. Pforzheim is a strange sounding German word, but it's a city actually in Western Germany. And so they produced their watches there then, but without any glamour and without any fame, so to speak. And then, 1989, the Soviet Union collapsed. Eastern Germany was free again, but more important for the Langes, the name A. Lange Söhne, the brand A. Lange Söhne was free as well. And so they smelled the opportunity to refound their old business, to reconnect to their traditions in watchmaking. And with the help of some other watch manufacturers like IWC, they've arranged this. And they founded A. Lange Söhne new in 1990. And they instantly began to develop their own models. And 1994, they presented the Lange 1, and it was sort of a big bang for German watchmaking and watchmaking in the world. The Lange 1 back then in the early 90s or mid 90s was the most decorated watches in that period. So an amazing piece, and the people went crazy over it. And then back then it became the Grail watch for many people. And today the owner of Lange is the Richemont Group. Okay, let's begin. Here we are with our Lange 1. And let's begin with the basic specifications. The watch looks huge, but it isn't. We're looking at the case diameter of 38.5 millimeters, so very good size for a dress watch. And the height is 10 millimeters, and the lug width is 20, so very convenient size. And now let's go over the details here. Let's start with the crystal. We're looking at a sapphire crystal with some sort of coating. I think there's some sort of coating on it. Let me clean it rapidly. Some sort of coating, because it plays so gentle with the light. Look at this, very interesting. And under the sapphire we find a dial made out of silver, rhodium plated. It's not very common, to be frank, in watch manufacturing, but here we have it. The hands and the indices are gold, 18 karat gold. And yeah, and here you can see all the elements. You see the brand, of course, are Lange Söhne, Glashütte. On position between 6 and 7, you find the word Doppelfederhaus, which is a technical detail. It's I'm very sorry, but I can't explain this. On the position number 3, there's a power indicator, power reserve. And here, of course, there's the date, the time on the left side, and the moon phase here on position number 5. Those are the basic elements here. And the case is made of platinum, 100% platinum, which leads to a really heavy watch. This is such a substantial feeling on the wrist, this thing. Actually, it's the heaviest watch I've ever had in my hands. Imagine this thing with a bracelet. Wow, would be super heavy then. And you can see the case is, here is a brushed surface, and the other elements are high polished. Very well done. But the thing which really fascinates me here is the movement. It's the look of the movement. Let's see if I can show you this good on camera. See this? But there it is. There it is. There is the famous 901 Lange movement. And the metal you can see here on the surface. Which metal is called German silver. It's an alloy made out of nickel and copper with certain specifications. So they have chosen this to produce the movement. The movement has an incredibly 72 hours power reserve, and so you can put the watch away for days. And by the way, the clasp is made out of titanium as well. You won't believe the price here. The price for the clasp is 4,900 euros. And I didn't believe that, but then I saw the bill. There it was. 4,900 euros for the clasp. Very, very crazy. Very crazy. And one more word here about the titanium of the case. Titanium is super rare, super pricey, and very robust. It's harder than steel, and so it's top-notch material for a watch, and it explains, of course, the price of the watch. And one more word to the big date. This actually started the fashion installing big dates on watches. This was the Lange one, at least as far as I understood, as my research told me that. Okay, but now let's operate the watch. I will not change the moon phase. I'm very sorry, but it's really complicated to set it. You need a chart and everything, and so don't want to do that. But the rest is easy. It's a hand winding model. This is a little bit surprising, but hand winding this thing is pure joy because it's super fast. You have to wind it 4 times, and then the power reserve is up to 72 hours. So now it's nearly full. But look at this. Zip. Oh, it's full. I think it's full. Oh, now it's nearly full. So very easy and super smooth, buttery smooth. And changing the time is in position 2. And this is very strange. Pulling the crown, there is not this sharp cluck you can hear with other models. This is very hard to describe, a substantial feeling pulling something heavy out of the watch. Very crazy. Very crazy. And now you see this is very basic. I want to see the changing date. I need to see the date changing here. There it is. So beautiful, so beautiful. And there's, of course, a quick set for the date. Do you hear this? This is a very beautiful clock. Very, very interesting. Let me hold this to my to my lavalier mic. Momento. Clock. very, very nice sound. I really like that sound. Okay, but we don't have to go crazy here. Yeah, the pusher. The pusher is the quick set for the date, so very easy. There it is, clock, 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 clock. Very, very easy, very convenient, works fine. Yeah, and the price for this model is about 35,000 euros, and so we're talking a smidgen under 40,000 US dollars. And if you this particular model is out of production, and if you decide now to buy such a piece new, I think then you have to pay over 45,000 US dollars or 40,000 euros or 38 such in that region. So a very expensive watch. But I must say the price is, you can see the value here. This feels absolutely luxurious. Okay, here you have it on my 17 centimeter wrist. Well, I would say fits nicely. Look at this. I mean, yeah, this is very luxury. This is really luxury. And this is, of course, an advantage of platinum. Look at the light here and the shininess of this super expensive material. I think an ounce of platinum costs now over 800 US dollars. Okay, and now I should disclose why I am with this watch right now. It's not mine, unfortunately. The real owner is a collector, not from my neighborhood, but from my hometown here in Hamburg. And the collector is a client of a brilliant watchmaker based in Hamburg. Gunnar Larsen is his name. And Gunnar Larsen convinced the collector to give me that watch for several days for filming it and examine it, wearing it a little bit. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to wear it actually, but I do. I do it. And there's a little deal involved. I have to state that the watch is for sale. The collector wants to sell that piece, and so if you're interested in purchasing that particular Lange one here, then please get in contact with me. casebackwatches@icloud.com. And now we're at the end of this video, unfortunately, but yeah, I have to return it now. I have to return the watch. When you see this video, then it's gone. The watch is then in the safe, back in the safe, and yeah, Caseback Tim again with his. I think the next watch on my wrist will be the vintage Rolex Datejust, just to absorb the shock to return that watch. But okay, yeah, I should stop rambling now. You can see I'm really excited about that piece. But enough here. So thank you very much for your attention, and maybe until next time.